Zach Moss.
And I'm AJ Finney.
And this is
Hippie
Not Hippie.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 60 of Hippie Not Hippie.
Yeah.
Oh, joining us today in the new basement, Ryan Trickey, everybody.
Wow, it's nice to thank you for having me. This is
He's
great. Now that I know it's
distracted by all the
new,
things.
I'm like, oh, look at this. It's got one of those over there.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, just moved. I like how you say the new basement. It's probably 130-year-old basement.
Yeah, it's just been the new basement studio.
New to us. Yeah, gradually coming together. I'm like, this wall looks really bare and it's very dark in here. Yeah. It's gonna look like a murder webcam so I real quick grabbed some lights, threw a drawing of Chris Jeffries painting back there.
Yeah.
Oh, you're in from out of town? Does anyone know where you're at? Come over to my apartment. The whole thing's a basement. Come into this room. There's no windows.
Yeah.
Technically. Yeah.
There's windows.
Why is the closet going? Why is the closet open? Oh, the last guest got out.
Mm-hmm. That's where the gimp lives.
Yeah, the closet's open because it doesn't close.
Oh.
I got too much stuff in there.
Too much stuff.
Oh, nice.
Stuff trying to get out of there. But yeah, joined by Ryan Trickey. The first time I met Ryan was in Pittsburgh.
Oh, Pittsburgh, Kansas. We did that show.
Pittsburgh, Kansas.
That's right. I forgot about that show. I thought you were about to say like Springfield or something.
No, that was the stop before Springfield.
Yeah, and then we went and did Springfield.
That wasn't the New Year's show, though, was it? Because we all did New Year's together.
Did you get hit up by Chris the other day randomly?
For what? No.
He just hit me up and he goes, "Hey, man, what are you doing this weekend?"
Oh, yeah, he does that. No.
And I was like, I'm hosting 51st Jokes on Saturday. I've got Friday open.
Did he say, oh, bummer?
Yeah, he goes, oh, bummer.
Hey, I'm 700 miles away. Oh,
Yeah.
bummer.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, I hit him up several times for, like, dates, and then for fallouts, I told him, I was like, keep me posted, you know, and then he would hit me up at the most inopportune times and go, you doing anything this weekend? I go, yeah, and he goes, bummer.
Yeah.
That's always the text, bummer.
I'll text him and be like, hey, I'm available if you need me. He'd be like, bummer. Pittsburgh, we were in the basement of like a big school or a mayor building.
Yeah, the Purple Gorillas or something.
Something.
Oh, Pittsburgh,
fishy
the
going
Gorillas.
on.
Yeah, Pittsburgh, Kansas. That's the Gorillas are the mascot of the college.
Yeah, they have them everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was the place where I went and had a beer before the show. We were in a hotel there, right?
Yeah. I feel like we were in a hotel.
Yeah, you were like, I'm gonna go, do your pre-show jerk and iron or whatever you do.
Yeah.
And I went to the bar and there was like this lady there, and she was like talking about how her kid was like misbehaving at school, and all the guys were like, they were literally like, oh, you need to whoop that kid's ass. And they were kind of like implying like, well, if I was around, I'd be able to parent that kid or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they were all like,
they were flirting and talking about hitting the kid at the same time.
yeah,
The Pittsburgh special.
Yeah.
yeah,
pretty good.
yeah. No,
Takes finesse.
yeah, and these guys
And a
are
backhand.
like, in my day, I would have just got my ass beat or whatever. And she's like, oh, don't you worry, I got in trouble. She's like, I grounded him on his birthday. And then all of a sudden, these like tough like Pittsburgh guys, like their tune like totally changed.
He's like, what the
They're
fuck?
like, what, on his birthday? They're like, you can't do that to him on his birthday.
You gotta postpone that.
Look, we'll hit him with his favorite toy, but
Yeah.
don't do it on his birthday. What are we doing?
Just know that the day after your birthday is gonna be real bad.
I remember
Yeah.
thinking that when I was a kid too. Like there was like a time I think I wanted to like go to a party, and my mom's like, "You're grounded," and I'm like, "Can't you just hit me?" Like I want to go to this thing with my friends. I'm like, can't you just hit me? And she's like, no. And I'm like, can you say things are harder when you were younger? Like, I don't. I'm like, what the fuck? And then she was like, no, we got hit and we got grounded. And I was like,
good point.
That's a double
Good
whammy.
point.
Oh, man. So,
Yeah, like as if you'd get hit and be like, I'm not grounded now, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
what? No, it's, yeah.
no, I was like, hey, I want to go to this event bad enough. Just right on the chin. You get a free shot. And can I go? So,
Ryan, how was the trip out here?
It was terrible, particularly terrible. I was telling you earlier, the weather was horrible. People were driving slow, but like
It's weird.
accidents, diversions off the highway.
I didn't know when you told me that the traffic was bad. I didn't know what was going on, but the storm that was supposed to hit us must have just missed us and then landed in Kansas.
So much of Kansas was just blanketed in snow,
Really?
coming down pretty ferociously. And it was like one of the things where like you're driving like 45 to be safe, and then there's still people going 90 past you. And then eventually you're in like a standstill traffic on the highway. And it's like, I bet it's that guy. That son of a bitch.
Yeah.
see, and I'm the guy going 50 that comes up behind the guy going 45. And I'm like, fuck! I'm going slow. And then I'm like, God, I got to try and pass this guy now in the scary lane.
Oh, yeah.
it's
In
always-
the icy lane, because the right lane's usually the clear lane, and then if you want to go over, you
It is
can.
definitely the scary lane, for sure.
And when you come over, I don't know. No, I'm sure you were driving adequate speed for the roads, but I feel like I drive slow, but I always will come across that person that's just going like 5 fucking miles slower than
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, you can never find like a harmonious sweet spot with the other drivers. You're either going
Yeah.
slightly too slow or slightly too fast. You'll get the guy with the brights on right behind you. We had the one where we had to get off the highway. We were diverted off the highway a couple times. And you've driven through Kansas, so you know that like it's stereotypical, like, oh, anti-abortion billboard,
Yeah.
Trump trailer. That's the highway.
That Trump trailer is
That's
wild.
the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
You get in the off-roads of Kansas, you see what's really lurking
Yeah,
beneath.
there's effigies.
I saw one, it was the gate, and then it had the sign where it was like, hey, don't trespass or we'll shoot you or whatever, but they also had Christmas lights on. A lot of weird energy. Yeah.
They're like, Merry Christmas, but don't trespass or we'll shoot
we
you.
will shoot Santa Claus for sure.
I
Yeah.
thought you were saying there were like a billboard with pearly gates. It said something like, no homos in my heaven.
Yep. That one too. That one's in there.
Yeah, they have a lot of things where that like
Life is precious. If you aborting a baby, I'll fucking kill you. That
Yeah.
one's in there.
billboards that are just like, call this number for the fucking truth.
Yeah.
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 And you're like, you know what? That's where I always thought I would find the truth. I've been
billboard.
looking for the truth my whole life.
Yeah.
And who knew that it was a 1-800 number on a billboard in Kansas? Is
Yeah.
Who I've called those numbers before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Did you
find truth?
No, so it's really just like you call and it's a recorded sermon.
You don't even get to talk
Really?
to anybody?
No, it's just like, are you afraid of hell? You should be, because you're going, and I can save you. God can save you. You know?
Wow.
I saw one going through Kansas that had it was just faded, and it said something like every baby deserves a chance, but this baby looked like a fucking alien. Like, because it was so faded, it looked like one of the blue skinned things from Dune, and I was like, or it had the weird eyes, and I was like, not that baby. Like, that's a
Yeah.
demon baby.
Yeah.
Isn't that the
yeah.
thing with like where there's like a bunch of crosses in a field when you're driving by
Oh,
for
yeah.
like a bunch of tiny crosses for the
Oh, and every cross has like a different word. Like you're supposed to read it as you go along, maybe?
Oh, yeah,
that's
yeah,
a
yeah.
fun
Like
that.
Yeah, we
That
got one
rings
of
a
those.
bell,
We got
yeah.
some of those in Colorado. You get into North I-25,
Oh.
you'll find some of that action.
100%. Yeah. Aside from maybe Denver and Boulder, it's a very, yeah.
There's also classic right there near Colby. There's that classic Wheat Jesus. You ever pay attention to that?
Wheat Jesus?
Are you serious? You never paid attention to this? So on your way back to Kansas,
Not to be confused with Sweet Jesus.
not Sweet Jesus.
Frosted mini wheat
Yeah.
Jesus.
This
Yes.
is Wheat Jesus. So I think it's exit 83, maybe 84. When you're going back into Kansas to the right, it's the exit for Colby at the Oasis.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so before you get off on that exit, look up to your right. There's a giant billboard, and it's just Jesus, and his head is popping out of a wheat field, and he's just holding a piece of wheat. I will find this.
Oh, man.
It's one of the greatest things in the world.
I stop in Colby for gas, so I will definitely keep an eye out for that.
Yeah,
I go there for the cheese.
Good old Colby Jack.
Colby Jack.
That's what they call me.
But yeah, Pittsburgh. So you're living in Kansas City, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're on the Missouri
I
side
just
or the
remember
Kansas side?
we were talking about anti-abortion stuff or whatever. Springfield had one for a while that was an anti-abortion billboard, and it was like, "You wouldn't abort me, would you?" And it was like a picture of like a cute baby.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of like the audition process for what the baby's gonna be. Like, we can't have an ugly baby up here, you know? Like, we gotta, yeah.
Oh, for the actual billboard.
Right. Because the baby's like a model baby, I assume.
Oh, God.
Yeah, model babies. You find wheat Jesus?
Well, I'm looking for another thing too because
This is always great for a podcast.
It's awesome.
We'll edit the last 20 minutes out.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to find this fucking
No, we
billboard.
won't. Oh, shit.
But yeah, I forget which. Yeah, I'm on the Kansas City, Missouri side. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, and then it's a city where one side of the city, weed's illegal, and one side...
One side of the city, weed is legal. On the other side of the city, abortion's illegal.
Oh, wow.
Shout
Yeah.
out Kansas.
Holy shit. So that's
For a state that won't shut up about it, they are legally allowed to do it.
Yeah.
So,
Kansas still has women's rights.
yeah.
They just can't smoke.
Yeah.
And we can smoke, but, you know.
But
No
you're gonna have to
rights.
cross the border. Mm-hmm. You got married, didn't you?
Yeah.
How's that going?
So far, so good.
Congrats.
Thank you. Yeah.
When did you get
all I
married?
got to do is keep it up for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But so far, so good. Yeah.
How long have
November 4th. So, whatever, 2 months ago.
Oh wow,
Wow.
fresh.
Fresh ring.
Wow, it shines.
Yeah.
The
so
precious.
far- yeah, the shine
It
is
is
still on the
it
apple.
is a
Yeah.
Lord of the Ring kind of style.
It better be one ring to rule them all, because I am not going through this malarkey again. I'll tell you that.
Was it
right
a long
now.
service?
Oh man, it was a whole bag of beans. We had
Catholic?
No. Long story short, we had to do the ceremony in our backyard with just the parents and grandparents because Mom got diagnosed with COVID the night before.
Oh.
And so rather than do this whole big wedding that we had originally planned, we did the ceremony small backyard, so she was able to be there, and then did the reception with all these other people.
Was she like sick when it was going on?
No.
She was like asymptomatic or whatever.
Right. But we had
Okay.
asked everybody to test anyways, otherwise we might not have known that had been the case.
Oh wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so I've emceed a few weddings lately and been a part of a few, and the thing that everybody you hear them, they're like, nobody test.
We don't want to know.
You have a cold. You have a
100%.
fucking cold.
If anybody asks, you're just hungover or something. Yeah.
You're just sweaty. All right, that's
Uh-huh.
What a brand new level of bridezilla. Like, what'd you test? Why would you test? You ruined my wedding.
Being mad at my mom, you bitch.
Yeah.
How long were you together before you decided to get married?
Oh man, so we're one of those where we were together for like a little while here, and then like we're together for like a while here, and then in our current iteration, we've been together for I don't know, maybe 2.5, 3 years or so. But like
so
collectively,
it's been off and on.
yeah.
So you'll probably get divorced and married again.
And then exactly. Yeah. As long as we don't have to do like a ceremony again, I think that's cool. I was like pretty pumped about doing it in the backyard. I was like nervous about the big ceremony.
yeah.
Yeah, that made me feel uncomfortable, I think. But we have a lot of people who like love us and stuff. Which is
Like, you say that like it's a rare thing.
you gotta it feels weird to complain
You
about.
looked at me
but-
like, you wouldn't understand this, Zach.
so there's this little thing called love, and
And we have it.
I guess it's fine.
So
But yeah.
Oh, here.
In general, it was all. Oh yeah. Okay, this is it.
Oh, God damn it. Nope, I thought... So this is one of the signs,
If you die today, where will you spend eternity?
right? So I swear, and I might
That's
have
a good
deleted
one.
it. I thought I had one that had a phone number on it.
Oh
for a
wow,
while.
you've been looking through your own pictures for the last 5 minutes.
Yep.
You thought he might have Googled it or something.
Yeah. I thought you could maybe just Google like wheat Jesus and somebody would have had it.
I could look up Ouija's. I was looking for this sign that that had.
Oh, fuck,
Yeah, I was
man.
looking for a religious sign that I took a long time ago that I took a picture of because it had a phone number on it that I thought we would call on the podcast, and seemed like the perfect time, but I may have deleted it.
So I overheard you and AJ talking while I was whipping up my matcha here before we got started. He gave you some mushrooms once.
Yeah, I haven't done them yet, though. I still
haven't
haven't.
done 'em.
I keep forgetting I have.
And you have never done them.
Oh, that's right.
Have you
Yeah.
ever tripped at all?
No, I think that the most it's ever been is I had a couple of edibles
Oh, so
at the
you
same time.
don't actually know what love is.
No. If I had tripped, I would have looked at the wedding thing and be like, I don't need this shit. What is this? This is terrible. Yeah.
So you have eaten enough edibles where you felt like you were hallucinating, though?
One time I went on a hike and took 2 when normally I ever do 1 every now and then. And I think that that's the highest I've ever been for sure. But that was... What do we got here? I've never seen that before in my life. I would know. If that were on the Colby exit, I would have seen
Oh, it
that.
is the Colby exit.
That's excellent.
Yeah. Take a
It's
look at
it's precisely how
it's
you
on
described
both
it.
sides.
Yeah, you know
It's
what?
just no matter where you're coming
Yeah.
from.
Once you do psychedelics, you just notice more things.
You just, I'm blind to stuff like that.
Yeah, you don't miss a wheat
Yeah,
Jesus.
Yeah, you're just like,
Wow.
oh, that's just more wheat. You know?
Yeah. I miss Jesus through the wheat.
That
for
looks
sure.
like the
Yeah.
outdoors with which I got married in.
Yeah.
So, never tried it. Do you think you're going to? Do you want to? Like, yeah.
Certain things scare me a little bit, but I don't think mushrooms
yeah?
do. I don't think mushrooms do. I've just never, you know what it is when I was younger, I never got peer pressured by anybody cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was always jerks who didn't want to be my friend anyways,
just
being
like,
like, come on, pussy. And I'm
Come
like,
on,
"Oh,
put
I
this
don't-"
jelly bean in your ass.
Exactly, yeah. So I'm like, I don't really want it. If anybody hot or fun had asked me to do anything when I was in high school, I'm sure things would have been different. But yeah, no, it never. And then just so much time passes, and you're like, well, what am I gonna?
Well, yeah. No, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I liked to trip really hard when I was younger, and now that I'm older, I'm like, I'm not trying to go hard on that stuff anymore.
See, yeah, I feel like I missed my window. Like I'm at the point where like I like to be home by a certain time and sit on the couch and watch Friends or whatever.
I mean, you could
with the old lady.
always go.
Well-
always go hard.
Well, yeah, and then AJ comes over today and he goes, "Hey, man." Well, he tells me today in a text. He goes, "What'd you say?"
Well, no, it was yes.
Well, AJ was the one who was like, "Hey, I know you remember Stanford and Sons. I'm paying you for your set and drugs,
Yeah.
bud. Here you go." Just like old times.
Yeah, no, that text message. Oh, I had to send it this morning. I turned my phone off yesterday.
AJ goes,
What did you
I had a
ask?
really intense, complicated case session yesterday morning, and I go, "You okay?" And he says, "Yeah, just had to die, meet the devil, get trapped in an insane asylum, and come down. Pretty typical Thursday morning." And I'm like,
Yeah.
why? And then he comes tonight, and we're waiting for you. And what better way to kill time when he goes, "Hey, man,
You want to hear the audio?
do you want to hear the audio of me going through that?"
Meeting the
fucking-
devil.
And then I'm like, "No, not really." And he's like,
check it
I'm like,
out.
"Let's just play it on the pod." And he's like, "I don't want to play it on the pod
It's
because
so
it's just me
traumatic.
screaming and crying."
Yeah, it's
Wow.
rough, dude.
And then he put it on. He put it on while I was making my tea.
Yeah, fucking juiced up the
I was
matcha.
making my tea, and it's just him going, "Stop! Stop! No!" And I'm like,
Yeah, dude, it's bad.
All right. So that earlier when I said there's things I'm scared of.
So, for the record, though, I'd had this is all therapeutic. So I had 7 or 8
therapeutic,
really,
Ryan.
really
Yes,
good.
for sure.
Well, no, I mean, I'm still unpacking what happened, but I firmly believe that it wasn't the trip that I wanted, but I think that it's the trip that I needed. I mean, I have to change a lot of things in my life. I already know that. And that was shown to me very, very
No
adamantly.
more insane asylums. No,
No.
more fighting the devil.
Now that now that you've met the devil, when you see him again, you'll be on like a first name basis, and it'll be not as crazy.
So the meeting the devil was more.
Which devil was it?
No. So you guys are getting too far. You think I met some horned guy? Like I had the sense.
I hope you met a horny guy.
No, I didn't. It was so. You know when a mainframe on a computer is running really hard, like
And you
can
hear it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So the fans are going. So
Yeah, that's what your body sounded like on that recording. You're just
So-
like,
yeah. So that's what's happening. So when the information starts coming down, when you do that IM ketamine, like you're supposed to just watch it. Like you have to remember that nothing is real and you're to observe everything. And then when you come out of it, you process it then. I completely forgot that. And I did exactly what you're not supposed to do, which is forget that you had taken a drug or go to the point of going, oh, I took too much, I'm broken, and this is permanent, I'm about to die. And I think, here's the weird part, is I think I was on the verge of an ego death and I failed. Like I was unable to move on with it. And that's the sad part of it. But so what happened was as the download was happening, right? So the information, you go through all these color, I mean, I've never tripped as hard as I did. I mean, the whole world is just different colors and shades, and it's going, and you're watching it, and you're just going, okay, all right. And then all of a sudden, it started coming faster, and then just imagine everything in the world just going, and I let this idea.
can you imagine coming faster?
Yeah.
No.
So I let this idea of seeing a computer taking way too much information in at one time and then frying. And then once I had that image in my head, I was like, oh, fuck, I'm the computer. I'm fried. I can't talk. And as soon as you go into that panic mode, it goes from this sucks to I'm in it now. And then I just kept going through hell and then ended up in a wheelchair. Like I saw myself in a wheelchair in an insane asylum while my family was talking to a doctor outside of a glass room. And all I wanted to do
Which members of your family? Me and Marcy?
Well, no, it was Marcy and the doctors. But it was just this felt sense of like not being able to tell people.
Were Willie and Waylon there?
No.
What an interesting manifestation of what your feelings were. Like because like I think people could like feel like they're going through hell, but you actually were in a wheelchair and seeing all that.
Yeah,
like,
so those were the things.
interesting.
Those were the things that I saw. So it was like this future aspect of seeing myself projected into basically being a catatonic state, and then I was like, "Fuck!" And so once I saw that, then I thought that was my reality, and I'd completely forgotten that I'd taken a drug, and then it was.
Wow.
So after hearing
The
that,
worst.
you're never going to try hallucinogens, probably.
I might.
Yeah.
Oh, but
Yeah.
I'll be honest though. Here's the thing: is like after it was all done, I had no idea I was saying half the stuff. I thought most of it was in my head, and the entire like the trauma aspect of it is what you would hear was like 3.5 minutes of the 90 minutes that I was in the whole thing, and
The other time you were just surfing through Nirvana, baby.
I don't know. I was just drifting through the metaverse.
Yeah, okay, computer.
Yeah.
What'd you listen to on your way down here today, Ryan?
Oh, it's boring. I like football now, so I was listening to guys talk about football. So I
Now?
can learn more about it. Yeah, it's like a newer thing.
Yeah?
So it's
Is
stupid.
this part of the wedding? Like you got
Yeah.
married and your wife's like, you got to get into football.
I gotta do as much basic dad stuff as possible.
Were you into it?
I have
Like,
a lawn.
you got a baby coming?
No. But I might as well. But yeah, no. I have a lawn that I look at.
Oh,
You maintain
Wait, do you
it,
have a
sure, but also
house?
you go. We rent a house, so we're not property owners yet, but we get to cosplay property ownership. For the low price of what would be more than a mortgage, we get to pretend that we own a house.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's so far so good.
So you
But yeah, nothing crazy.
you didn't play football when you were a kid? You never were into it
I
when you
hated
were
sports
younger?
when I was a kid. No,
Yeah?
yeah. In fact, yeah, I think I got into it because she's a football fan, and I was watching it with her, and then other friends of mine, and then like, it doesn't hurt that Kansas City's
yeah.
good.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt that your team's been pretty competitive for a while. and
Yeah,
the
my
city-
dad took me to games when I was a kid, because he had tickets, and they were terrible back then. So I've sat through the worst weather you can think of.
Oh, yeah.
Watching boring football that I hate.
Yeah.
So like now is fun. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, my dad actually just told me a story about so he went to Kansas City when he was a kid for the Milk Council for milk tasting.
The Milk Council for milk tasting?
So apparently there's like there used to be a competition.
This is like 4-H?
Some sort of like for the Dairy Council or whatever. But so they would have milk, and they would have milk with like garlic in it. They would have milk that was rancid. They would have milk that had all these different things in the milk.
And then good milk.
And then you would taste it and be like, this is spoiled milk.
Oh, wow.
Like sommeliers, but for milk.
And my dad was really good at it. So he got to go to Kansas City when he was a boy, and it was like a big deal, like going to the big city. And the Chiefs, they went to the stadium, and he said it was just open. Like there was no security or anything.
Oh, that's fun.
And they went in, and they walked into like the team was having a meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And they just walked in and were like, looked up and were like, oh, what are you kids doing here?
Yeah, come to the city, drink some garlic
And they
milk,
were,
meet
and
some
they were
football
nice to them,
players.
and then sent them on their way. But I was
That's
like,
fun.
man, what a different time.
Yeah.
You know, when you're like,
Yeah.
God, I can't wait to go to the city for my milk tasting abilities.
Uh-huh.
Dude,
And
it's so weird. That was on, I think Napoleon from Napoleon Dynamite was doing that.
Yeah.
He tasted the milk, and he's like, too much vitamin D.
And then
Too much
some guy with a
calcium.
clipboard was like, oh,
Yep.
yeah.
And he's like,
You're right.
it must have been in the sage pasture.
What an interesting, I'd completely forgotten about that. But yeah, what an interesting deep cut Midwest thing, I guess.
Yeah, and then there was a competition too where they would judge you based on how good you judged a cow.
What did that, so they
So they'd have
judged
the
how well
same
you
cow.
judged
They'd
the
have
cow?
the same cow, and then they'd have like 10 fellas come out
Yeah.
Oh
and,
yeah.
and judge this cow, and then they'd be like, you know what? You were the best at it.
Well, you see, it's got that extra teat there.
Yeah, my daddy was last place in the cow judging contest. He didn't know from an udder from an asshole.
Yeah.
That's my daddy.
But boy, could he
Wow.
taste some milk.
Garlic.
You ain't even got to
otherwise.
smell the milk. When it's bad, my dad goes, that's bad milk.
So how do you
what-
oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna. I thought of this a second ago when you guys were talking about psychedelics. So like, I was talking to a buddy of mine like months ago, and I was like telling him, I was like, yeah, I feel like I'm kind of in like a rut right now, yada yada. And then like he listened to me for a while, and then he was like, maybe you should do acid, is what he said to me. And I was like, I don't know if that's, maybe I shouldn't have been.
I mean, it could be fun, but it's always a tall order for your first one, especially later in life, I think.
I feel like that's a good way of putting it. I can't imagine like acid being like, and this will fix my depression the first time. Or
I mean,
something.
it could change your
don't
perception. But acid's a lot longer. Acid's a long ride. It's like an 8 to 12 hour ride, whereas mushrooms is like a 4 to 6.
Yeah, depending.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Because even with mushrooms, you can intensify it, but shorten it if you make it like a lemon tick out of it. Where because everyone thinks psilocybin's what actually makes you trip. It's not. It's psilocin. So once the psilocybin gets in your stomach, it starts to break it down to the stomach acid. So if you take the mushrooms and put it in like lemon juice, then it'll automatically do what your stomach's going to do. So when you hit it, it just happens quicker, and the delay is shorter.
You know what? You saying this makes me realize I did try to eat one day. I forget why, but I did, and I don't think I remember feeling anything.
Oh, well, you're still in it.
Yeah, I'm macro dosing. Yeah.
I was just with all the cheese stuff. I was curious. Are you a Taylor Swift fan?
Oh, that's another. My wife is, so I am too. Yeah, see,
Yeah?
I'm just taking
So
on
you're
all
a
this stuff
Swiftie.
from her. Oh, 100%. My goodness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you go to any of the concerts?
She got to go. I thankfully had shows that weekend, but she got to go, and she said it was fucking incredible.
I think it would have been good. Why? Thankfully, you had
I was being a smart aleck. I bet if I had gone, I would have had a good time.
I bet it.
She went with her sister, and she's more of a fan than I am, so it's good that they went. But
Well, those tickets are not cheap.
you know what? So she got them. So they went on sale, and there was this whole thing that came out after the fact about a Ticketmaster crashed. Like
Oh,
a ton of
yeah.
people tried to get them, couldn't get them. But we both on separate computers tried to log in to get in line.
Yeah.
And mine crashed. I couldn't do it, but she was able to get in. So she bought her tickets the day of, 2 for, probably like $300
Yeah.
each or whatever.
And that's
But then the
manageable.
week of the concert, her tickets in her
Thousands.
area, literally they were going for like $2,000 each. So then I was like gently like, hey,
hey, we
You know
could
how
maybe
we're-
stop pretending house.
you know how we're exactly, literally, yeah,
we
yeah,
could get a home.
yeah.
Yeah, when tickets are that crazy, it's fucking nuts. Like Megan's, my girlfriend's brother gave us floor seats for the Nuggets last year.
I got to go to a Nuggets game while I was living here. For whoever gave them to us, comedian in town who works.
Alex Linton or Josh Emerson?
Josh Emerson, me, and a couple other guys. It was great. It was super fun. You had floor seats. That's super cool.
Yeah, but I looked it up like when we were going. I was like, if I wanted to sell these right now, how much could I get?
Yeah.
And it was fucking like $1,800.
Dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's like 2 months of work. Like I'm just like,
Yeah.
we could go on a European vacation.
100%.
We could do something crazy with
Thank
that much
God the
money.
Nuggets are good. At the very
Yeah.
least, you can boil it down to,
and-
then they went on to win and stuff. Like,
And we
yeah, yeah,
really
yeah.
like the Nuggets. And I just recently got back into basketball like 3-4 years ago. I liked it when I was like a kid, but fell out of it. That's why I was curious if it was like something that you liked when you were young. But it's just
I was exposed to it, but I never liked it. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't get it, but I guess I get it now. I don't know.
so sports, no hallucinogens.
I guess so. Yeah, maybe I need to branch out.
What do you listen to other than Run DMC?
Yes. What's their song that I like? How's it go again? Yeah. Oh man.
Rock the Road is tricky.
Tricky.
I'll get somebody.
Does that song
out in the
pump you up?
wild. I've tried to get it to pump me up before.
Who's tricky?
it's just-
Ryan Tricky.
It feels so corny to try to get pumped up about a song that, by the way, doesn't have a whole lot to do with if you listen to the lyrics, it's about like fucking people.
Yeah, just fucking people.
Just in general, and how
And that's not-
rhyming
that's
is
not
kind
your-
of hard, by the way.
That's not your vibe. You're not going out on stage like I'm fucking people.
I'm fucking people, and they're like, all right,
I like to
figure this out.
imagine that you play that song right before you go on stage and get pumped. It's
Whenever I'm at a show and they play that to bring me on without asking me first, I'm always kind of annoyed.
oh no,
Because not because I actually care, but because I assume that the audience thinks I asked for that song.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what bothers me. Like, oh, this guy wanted the fucking Run DMC song? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll be somewhere and I'll have to say my full name for whatever reason. And they're like, have you ever heard, I don't want to offend you. I don't know why it would be offensive. Have you ever heard this song? And I'm like, nah, I don't know what you're talking about.
You're like, I wish they would have played Trick Daddy.
No, I know that since I brought it up, you probably hate me a little bit now. So I'm sorry.
You're the worst for sure. I don't know. I'm trying to listen to. I just finally listened to this podcast a friend of mine recommended to me. That's like a comedy podcast, which is annoying to bring up, I guess. But it's called Good Ones. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
This guy interviews like famous comedians, and it's like they go through one of their bits, but they talk about the bit. You hear it first, they play it for you, and then the guy interviews the comic. I listened to like Mark Maron had one, Gary Goldman had one. Those are the only two I think I've listened to so far all the way through. But like they just talk about, it's just like a good comedy nuts and bolts podcast with people who you really want to hear that stuff from. And the guy asks really good questions that are like really insightful. And I don't know. I haven't listened to like comedy stuff in like a long time, so I feel like I'm trying to like also get back into that.
You
a
don't
little
listen to
bit.
music?
Oh yeah, I like music.
What's
It went for, well, you did
I also
specifically ask what he listened
I
to
didn't
on the way
understand
up
what you were
here.
talking about. Okay,
well, yeah. Well, I was. Just
I also
curious.
sound like I'm not from Earth. I like music. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I had a phase where I was over it for a few years.
Music?
Yeah. There's a podcast out there of me being like, yeah, I don't fucking like music anymore.
Wow.
See, I like music, but I feel
I got
like I
burned
don't.
out on it.
I feel like I don't like. I didn't also like. Same with like drugs. Like I didn't grow up around a lot of music. Like my dad wasn't a big music guy, and so like I had like weird. Like man. I mean, I saw Matchbox 20 last summer at Starlight Amphitheater. It was fucking incredible. It was awesome.
It's 3 a.m. I must be.
Rob Thomas and the boys were crushing it.
So was that the last concert you
Counting
went to?
Crows sucks live, I'm sorry to say.
Dude. Well, if you'd have caught him in the 90s, it
Of
was
course,
really good.
sure, certainly. Yeah, that's,
Sleeping perfect blue buildings.
yeah. Can't carry a tune
I am
anymore.
the Rain King.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
August and everything after. Very few albums
Long
like that.
December.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I bought that.
Here.
I
Mr. Jones and me.
I loved the Counting Crows when I was like 15 years old.
I still kind of like him, to be honest
That
with you.
that
But,
album, August
I-
and everything after, is flawless, start to finish.
I
really
like
good.
I like Perfect Blue Buildings. I still really love that song.
Yeah.
Adam Derwitz did the Joe Rogan podcast years ago, and Joe Rogan was asking him about the Mr. Jones song. And he was talking about how in the music video, Adam Derwitz is like dancing around and waving his arms.
Yeah.
And it made him self-conscious to do that because like the music made him want to do that, but he was worried about being like judged for it and made fun of for it.
Because it was the 90s and there was somebody on set that was like, gay.
Exactly, 100%, literally.
Yeah.
And like he talks about how like he's like, yeah, and then that song got played so much, and then I think people started to hate me because they heard the song so much, and da 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 da. And it's like I'm not like a Joe Rogan guy, but I saw that clip and I thought it was interesting, and I went down to the comments, and it was a bunch of Joe Rogan dudes
Just go.
whose pictures were like muscles and
Beefcakes?
shit. But then they were like, you know what? I think it's cool that Adam Derwitz is willing to talk about. Like it was very. Is Joe Rogan sneakily teaching bros to talk about their feelings a
Yeah.
little bit? Like that's pretty good. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Adam has
feelings and their fear of vaccination.
take it one thing at a time, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, Adam's got some real, like he's got some real like social mental depression. He's got some sort of wild disorder. It's really strange.
It was really unfortunate because we were pumped to see them, and the band was good, but he was not good. If that makes any sense.
Wait, when was this? Recent?
Oh, this must have been like 2019 or 18.
Okay.
This is a while ago.
Did he
so
seem-
maybe it's better now.
Did he seem like fucked up? Like he was drunk or something?
No,
Or did he
that
seem
wasn't
like
the
his
impression.
voice was just gone?
It just looked like it sounded like he was kind of phoning it in with not trying to hit notes
Yeah.
or
Well-
carry a tune the way talking instead of vocalizing at times.
Like think of how our like when you have to do 2 or sometimes like tomorrow you're gonna have to do like 3 shows, like your voice can get a little trashed. Like imagine if you had to sing for hours every fucking
You'd have to learn about how to take care of your voice. Like you'd have to learn about stuff like that for sure.
Oh, I mean, I know all the things that you're supposed to like do if you're a singer, and it's a lot of shit.
I can imagine.
Like you're supposed to do warm-ups before and I think after. You're
Yeah.
supposed to like cool it off. You're supposed to do long periods where you just don't fucking talk. Like really professional singers that are like touring like that on the road,
Yeah.
like some of them will sing at night and then they'll literally be writing fucking notes to hand people for the whole fucking day. Because
Bryan Cranston said that he did Broadway at some point. He was talking afterwards about how Monday and Tuesday he just didn't talk. Like he would, exactly what you're saying, he'd a whiteboard with him and he would write stuff because they had to give his voice a break or
yeah,
something.
you had to get vocal rest.
Yeah.
And then, like
That's so interesting.
lemon and honey, and there's like a whole kind of regiment that's just like fucking ridiculous. And whenever you're doing something like that, you're maybe stressing, like he has kind of a weird voice where he's maybe stressing. There's a lot of ways you can get sounds out of your voice, but they're not good for your vocal cords, you know?
One of the first Chiefs game I went to as an actual fan, we were in there. The whole thing is you got to be loud, right?
Yeah.
And we were in there, and my voice was starting to hurt a little bit. And there was just a dude next to me where I was sitting, and there was a moment I looked at it. I don't know why I just talked to me. I was just like, you're trying to be loud, and it's like kind of hurts, you know?
Yeah.
And he was like, instead of making fun of me, he was like, here's what you got to do. And he gave me he told me how to do it. Like, he was like, okay, for a while you do it like this. Oh, and then when that gets tired, you go, oh, and then he was like, oh, and make sure you're doing this with your chest. He gave me a whole rundown.
Yeah,
and
like
it was
not from the throat. He's like from the diaphragm, from the stomach.
Maybe my standards are too low for being treated nicely by just guys or whatever. But I thought that was the coolest thing. I was like, oh hell yeah! I don't know. I was just kind of joking around, but I'm glad he said that.
Yeah, I think at a sporting event, if you're on the same team, that's like one of the times when people are very nice to each other.
Well,
where they're like, he's like, you're trying to be loud, motherfucker?
Yeah.
Let me help you be the best loud that you can be because, God damn it, we need a first down.
100%. But I also try to be nice to the people who are away team fans too, because I can't even imagine what that must be like. Like going to another team's stadium dressed as the other guys, and you every time they're pissed off, you're cheering. Or every time something happens that makes you upset, everyone around you's pumped. That must feel weird.
Yeah, I think it depends on the game and the stadium. Like Broncos fans aren't going to be super mean to an away team, but Eagles fans.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. Speaking of the Broncos fans, I was with Movita tonight at the show. They decided to day drink instead of going out for New Year's, and then there was the Broncos game. Something happened on the highway. A guy fucking pulled a gun on her.
Really?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Man.
Because he stopped in the middle of the road to try to get over because he couldn't get over. So she was doing 65, came up behind him, so she stopped and then honked the horn to let him know, hey, you're going to get hit. So then she goes around, he rides the fucking median, then gets next to her, rolls his window down, shows her the fucking gun. And then her not thinking, she just goes, what? What is that?
Well, yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Well, it is one of those things where you're like, what are you going to do? Fucking shoot me? And then you're like, he could.
Right.
Famous last
but
words.
Also,
Yeah.
part of me thinking about it is if you were going to shoot me, you probably would have done it, right? Why are you showing it to me?
Because it's probably a big gun. And he thought, I don't know.
Big guns, big
What a
trucks.
dipshit.
God.
I hope. Did she get his license plate? Because showing someone a gun, that's assault with a deadly weapon. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
No, I don't think so. I think it was just it happened so quickly. She was talking about it tonight, and she was just like, yeah, it was 3 beats later that I was like, oh my God. What that fucking guy just did.
If you
That's
point
crazy.
a gun at somebody, even if it's not a real gun, it's assault with a deadly weapon. There's a cop came in and told us this story when we were in grade school, but it was about this high school kid who had a cap gun or whatever, and he pointed it at a lady, and it was back in the day before they had to be
with the orange
they
tips.
had to look real fake,
Yeah.
and it looked real, and he pointed it at her, and a cop saw him do it, pulled him over, and the guy got in deep shit.
Wow.
That also seems like a thing where if you're a cop, you might be like, hey,
This is a kid.
Depending on
But I don't know. Maybe it's a real shit kid. Maybe it was an ugly one that you wouldn't want. The kind that if you put him on an abortion poster, they'd make you kill babies.
Abortions would go up. Yeah. If you weren't already considering it, you might. Yeah, for sure.
So in 2008, Adam Dirts disclosed a long-standing battle with dissociative disorder.
Dissociative disorder.
So, which is a defense mechanism at the heart. Disassociation is a learned response to trauma. So the mind distances itself from reality in order to protect itself. So he has no real concept
Yeah. It says
the real
common
world.
symptoms include counting things, especially price.
Your perception of the later months of the years extends.
Yeah,
and-
Decembers get longer and buildings appear blue.
You start counting. But yeah,
All of his songs are just symptoms. Okay.
I've seen all kinds of weird bands live. Like I saw Creed live with my dad when I was like a kid,
Whoa.
and it was like not good. It was at the Midland in Kansas City, which is like a pretty large theater. There were about 90 of us.
Do people get
In a
fucked up at Creed? Like, is Creed
Not
a party?
at all. No. And you know what? Going into it, I thought maybe it would be. Because I don't know if you've heard Creed lately. There's a few songs that get you pretty jazzed up.
So this is recently.
Get your hands in the air. No, this was a long time ago.
They just shut the bar down.
Yeah, no, yeah, we can't have. Yeah, but everybody's standing there just looking at the stage, like no dancing, not even
No hands
churchy
in the air?
no church hands in the air. Yeah, it was very weird.
Just trying to figure it
The
out.
vibes were not great. They weren't great.
Yeah.
Not showman Creed.
More like
at least at
crud.
the time. Yeah, no
right?
kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saw
Look.
Nickelback live when I was in high school. They were great,
Well,
actually. quite
you've
frankly.
seen a lot of controversial bands.
I don't know.
Yeah, the quintessential butt rock.
I've
Yeah.
seen a lot of butt rock.
Yeah, like, I've been to
I've seen
3 doors
Shinedown
down.
twice. Oh. Shinedown were great. I had to have
Shine
somebody.
up.
I had to have people sit me down and tell me they weren't good. I couldn't. I didn't come to that one on my own. Okay, but have you heard the cover of Simple Man yet? All right.
Oh
Yeah.
man, the Midland. God, I definitely saw some bands at the Midland.
I'm trying to think the last time I was there. I think I saw Comedy Bang Bang live right before the pandemic, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude,
They
I
were
got to
good.
play the Midland a long time ago with God damn it, that's gonna space too.
You open for somebody?
Yeah, a long time ago. God. I can see his face. I can't. His name's not coming up. It'll come to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a huge theater.
I saw you at the first time I ever went to Red Rocks. I bumped into you. You was Naco, Medicine for the People, and Avett Brothers.
Oh yeah, the Avett Brothers.
yeah.
Avett Brothers are great.
They were great. Both of those bands were great. I'd never heard either of them before.
I like Naco, but he.
Oh, he's like problematic, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about
yeah,
that.
some stuff happened.
Weird. He's like a hippie, like a hey, we all gotta love each other, but he like just
Sometimes I think that's what happens when you get too much power, and they're really just like, we got to come together, and then afterwards it's like, man, there's a lot of young girls out here.
cult.
Yeah, it gets culty.
Yeah,
It gets
that's too
culty.
bad. Hate it when that happens. And then Avett Brothers is
It's like every band I like.
yeah, they always turn out to
They
be
either turn
cult.
into Creed or
Creed or cult. Yeah, that's my podcast.
Creed or
Yeah,
Cult.
I dated this girl that like knew them or had like they'd stayed at a house, like a punk house she lived in or
What's
something.
that, Naco or Creed?
Avett Brothers.
Okay.
And yeah, I liked them a lot and would listen to them. Like it was like when I discovered them, she's like, "Oh, I've met them or whatever." And then like the way that I never got any confirmation on this, but the way that it kind of like felt was she was like, "Yeah, I fucked that guy."
Yeah.
And stop playing his music all the time.
Yeah. I don't know. They put on a hell of a show.
They were
That's for
great.
sure.
They were a lot of fun.
So
yeah.
good.
No, I'm a fan. I had to sing one of their songs for Jake and Sam's wedding.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that you emceeing weddings? You have to sing sometimes?
That was me.
Different.
I have to sing at weddings for people I care about that are my actual friends and family. But
Oh, that's
yeah,
cool.
When I host, usually no one's had me, no strangers. But yeah, usually when I MC weddings for strangers, it's like, hey, give it up for Mr. and Mrs. Trickey for the first time coming to the floor to do their dance. They're going to dance and they're going to have dessert.
I thought you were gonna start singing. Isn't she lovely or something?
No,
like
no,
that.
I don't.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
sing for the dance.
Was that the
I
first,
did.
was that the first song that you guys danced to?
No.
Isn't she stuff?
No, what was
I
our
did
first
play
song?
music for a couple's first dance once. They weren't super good friends. It was my girlfriend at the time. It was her friend, and like one night we were drunk, and I was playing Ray LaMontagne songs, and she really liked my voice. And then so I played for their first dance and sang. God, what is it? Best thing. You are the best thing
It ever happened
that's ever happened to me.
Yeah.
I don't know that one. That sounds pretty good though.
Do you know Ray LaMontagne?
Oh yeah, dude.
He's great, man. If you like singer-songwriter stuff,
he's great.
I don't know.
Yeah, of course.
Pretty good stuff.
Our first song was, Michael Frianti?
Yeah.
Frianti?
Yeah.
We had Life is Better with You as our first song.
And
Yeah.
Spearhead.
I've seen him a couple times with a band, I think. He's a lot of fun.
Spearhead, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen. I think I caught a song I went to like a big festival at Dick's years ago. They used to have like a big music festival out there. And that's all that name always, Michael Fronte and Spearhead.
Yeah.
Like, does that guy just have a weird shaped, the other guy, or like?
Tonally, they don't.
One guy's got a spear-shaped head.
Yeah, one guy's like, I go by a normal name, and the other guy's like, my name is Spearhead.
I'm Michael Frianti, and he's Spearhead. We couldn't
Where's the rest of the band? They're like, nah, it's just me. And
It's not really that kind
Who's on first?
Yeah.
Who?
Your head looks like the tail of a shark, bud. No,
Yeah.
it's a spear.
They're not tonally copacetic. Yeah. Michael Frianti, Spearhead. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm glad they found each other.
Did you dance with your mom? Did you dance with
She
your
couldn't
dad?
come.
Oh yeah.
had to
No
cough.
mom dance. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she was sick. Yeah.
Somebody brought a flat cutout of her face on like a popsicle stick because they thought that would be nice, and it just bummed me out really. But like they brought that, and somebody suggested, they were like, "You could dance with that," and I was like,
Not gonna do that.
You're gonna leave if you say that to me again."
Yeah, I had some.
It's technically thoughtful.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
like
you
as
kinda
if
missed the mark.
I'm gonna just dance with a flat cutout of my mom's face while everybody watches to You Got a Friend in Me. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then
I don't think that's the move.
It'd have to be like a big head or something, whatever those.
It wasn't
football players-
particularly, but yeah. It wasn't life size.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
your drunk college buddy, you catch him with it down his pants.
I had to throw it away myself. I had to make
Yeah.
sure that.
Yeah, that was
You're like, someone's
Can't
going to
have-
take this home and use it as a spanking paddle.
Can't have that floating around. Yeah.
And it was you and your wife.
I was too tempted. I was like, we got to get rid of this, otherwise, who knows what'll happen.
Oh man, do you wear sandals? Are you a sandal guy?
I'm glad you asked the serious questions. Listen, I'm a Birkenstocks guy, and I'm not ashamed of it. I've got Keens as
wow.
well.
Okay.
I've got
Keen
Keens.
sandals, Targies 3. Do you know what they are?
Oh, man. No, I'll have to show you what I
Okay.
have. These are some off-the-streets shit. You haven't... Yeah. Listen.
I got a Keen dealer.
You think you've met the devil. Let me tell you this. I don't remember what they're called, but they're like flip-flops, and they have a toe guard.
Oh,
And they were actually...
Keens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were re-gifted to me by somebody
Wait,
12 years ago, and I still have them.
You gave them to somebody, and they gave them back to
somebody was given them, and they gave them to me.
Ah.
So I don't even. And then
Wow.
and I love them, and they don't make them anymore.
Okay.
And my lovely wife even reached out to Keen. She emailed him,
you. He's like,
and she was like, "My husband really loves these.
and they're
is
like,
there any
"Stop
way to get-"
emailing us?"
Literally." Keen replied, and they were like, "Listen, we get a lot of dudes' wives reaching out to us about these whack-ass shoes.
I like the idea that Keen
sold-
said whack ass.
We sold approximately 3.4 pairs of these. We're not making any more.
Not even a full half shoe.
Thank you for reaching out, but it's not going to happen."
It was.
They're like, there's a support group with 8 other dudes.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're meeting at Nickelback tonight.
A guy spearheaded this shoe idea, and it is taking the company down.
If Creed was bad music played badly, Nickelback was bad music played very well, if that makes any sense. Like, they were the best possible version of whatever you think that is. They were super fun. They made jokes about mushrooms. Huh?
I like
getting you into them.
I like how you're like, hey, come on.
Yeah, come on.
Come over to the Nickelback world.
Yeah,
Stop fighting the
exactly.
devil.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to think of a Nickelback song to reference, but I can't.
Photograph.
Look, I know you never made it as a wise man. Come here. But could you cut it as a poor man stealing?
Oh, there we go.
You're going to look me in the eye and tell me that song's not fun? Give me a break.
That was my first marriage. That was our first dance. Actually, was
it really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Wow. It never would have occurred to me for that to be a first dance song.
It works. This is how you remind me what I really am. See, now you're seeing it, right?
It's like I close my eyes.
I know.
There.
Do you want to do your wedding over it?
Kind of, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Mom will be there.
They were with
Nickelback.
Yeah.
Who was opening? You could get actual Nickelback there for $150.
Breaking Benjamin was opening for them. They weren't very good. And then Shinedown opened for them, and they were whatever. But, yeah.
Guns or flowers, Ryan?
Guns or flowers?
Yep. You got to pick one.
Probably flowers.
Okay.
I went shooting once. It was fine, but it's not my thing.
Dan, do you have any tie-dye?
I have one tie-dye shirt.
Okay.
It's like, I like how you look for the judging.
Yeah, what do we... Yeah.
Do you still eat edibles, or are you...
Sometimes I'll probably buy some while I'm here. I like the green solution.
Okay.
They were really nice to me the first time I ever...
I'm new at this. Come.
100%. I was as corny. I was super corny about it. I was like, I don't know what any of this is. And they're like, all right, come here.
God.
Yeah.
I went to a
This
place.
is how you remind me. All right.
This is how you remind me.
But yeah, they were super nice.
Edibles are.
They were like, all right, here's like a good place to start. Because I even told them, I was like, I don't think I like smoking and stuff. And they're like, you don't have to. Try this. Yeah. So.
There's other ways to get hooked on this shit.
Exactly.
Like, how do you feel about needles?
Listening? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's legal in Missouri now, so it's not
Yeah.
nearly as cool like anymore, I guess.
I'm like,
but.
I found myself getting mad at a bud tender the other day for doing something to me that I used to do when I was a bud tender to people.
Was it upselling?
No,
Upsailing.
I know what I like, and they don't always have things, so I'll call and be like, hey, what do you have? And they'll be like, what are you looking for? And I'll be like, I just want to know what you have, and they're like, oh. They act like it's like, and it's literally like they'll have like 12 strains. It's like 12 words that they need to say to me, and they're like, like sativas, and I'm like, can you just tell me what you fucking have for weed? And then my favorite is the other day, this guy goes, I call him and he goes, we don't know if you're 21 or not, so we're actually not allowed to even tell you over
that's
the
what
phone.
I would say that to everybody who called.
And I was just, and
That's
I was
genius.
like, and I wanted to be like, you're so full of shit. You're so fucking full of shit. Like,
Yeah.
fuck you. You're full of shit. Tell me what fucking weed you have. Is it this fucking hard? Jesus Christ.
You say all that and you're like, yeah, you don't sound 21. I don't know.
But yeah. Well, where can people find you, Ryan?
Instagram, that's where I post about all the shows that I do. Trickey Comedy on Instagram.
Trickey.
Trickey Comedy.
EY.
EY. Hey, Tricky around the bar.
My ancestors spelled it wrong.
Do people in October say stuff like, are you going to go tricky treating?
Fuck you! Yeah.
They will now.
Do they say that?
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of... I'll get this one. I probably get the most. They'll be like, you know what? Your parents should have named you like Ricky. And then Ricky Tricky. Like they think
Ricky
my
Tricky
first name
Tavi?
should rhyme with my last name. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the one I get probably second most.
No one's ever told you, like, you know that guy that used to play for the Lakers?
No, but oh, God. I'm so glad you said that, though. There's a band that I look like a guy from Steve Wallace brought this to my attention.
Was it 311?
No, but it's something like that. Gosh darn it. Limp Bizkit, maybe?
Oh,
Hang on.
yeah. I think it's
quick
I think it's
Google
the
search.
guitarist from Limp Bizkit. I think Marciana brought this up one time.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
common enough where people have...
Yeah, but I mean, if I was your prince, I would have named you Magic. Magic Tricky. Come on.
Wes Borland, maybe?
Well,
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
That deflated into depression. Well, fuck it.
Maybe you should try acid.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it's like pictures like this. Like, yeah, you look like that guy. And I'm like, I don't think so.
Well, I mean, not with the paint. But show it to.
This character.
I saw that guy yesterday when I was in the K-hole.
He worked at the asylum.
Yeah, he was like, hey,
Yeah.
we're going to be friends. My brother's going to be on your podcast.
Okay, here he is, sans makeup there.
Yeah.
Whatever.
yeah, you have the outline of his head, but everything in the middle.
That's bone structure.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Well, hell yeah. Follow Ryan if you're ever out in Kansas City. Or, we have a lot of people from Missouri. It's actually one of our biggest listener groups. But yeah, go see Ryan.
Yeah, all over Missouri, adjacent connecting states, Colorado occasionally, other places. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, thanks so much for coming on. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me,
Yeah.
fellas. Always good to see you, too.
And
Back to Pittsburgh sometime.
that was a fun show, actually.
Yeah.
I was so happy that you had to take the temperature of the room instead of me. Like, I thought it was just going to be AJ and I on that tour, and then he's like, yeah, there's this other comic, Ryan, who's going to host. And I was like,
That was
fuck
wild because
yes.
it was a triple Gemini show.
Yeah, that's right.
I feel like we did New Year's together too, because there's
Well, we did a Blue Room show with the three of us.
Yeah,
that may
'cause
have been
we
like
did-
right after that.
We did Pittsburgh, and then we went to the Blue Room. Pittsburgh was Thursday. Then Friday, Saturday, we did
Were
Blue
you at the
Room.
Blue Room with us?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's what it
Was.
was. Because I remember the photos. Yeah.
And there was, some other lady that was
Yeah.
around.
That's right. Well, she couldn't cut it as a poor man stealing. That's for sure.
This is how you remind me
Well,
about Pittsburgh.
thanks so much for listening. Like, subscribe, and get on the motherfucking bus. Wrong button.
Boss, this is how you it's not working.
So what I realized,
Oh, what the fuck? So it doesn't happen with me anymore.
Oh no, the devil! I was done with.
Welcome. So
I noticed this on the last few episodes, but I'm the only one that has monster voice.
That's
You're just like normal.
so now
You're just over there all normal, like, get on the motherfucking
Fucking
bus.
bus.
But if you listen to the last few episodes, yeah. I'm trying to reset this so the pads to the default. I spent 30 minutes working on it
Trying to
today,
sort it
and
out.
it did not happen. So I think I have to call customer support.
Oh, gotcha.
But
Monster voice for the one.
yeah, get on the motherfucking
Bus.
We need to figure out if
Yeah, we forgot
he
to
almost
do
tricked
this.
us out of figuring out if he was a hippie.
It's
or
not even Halloween. Here's a
man.
treat.
But yeah, so figure out here if Ryan's a hippie. 3, 2, 1. Not hippie.
Yeah, I had him at a hippie, but
What, the fact that his wife is writing sandal companies, is that what put you over?
That's
No.
pretty good.
I mean, honestly, I was kind of on the fence. The tie-dye leaned it, but it's only one. But he was real stern about those Birkenstocks. He was like, I'm a Birkenstock boy.
Yeah.
And proud
yeah.
of it.
Yeah, but,
I've got the Keens and the Birkenstocks
but
in my
I feel
car
like,
right now.
but I was thinking about it and I was like, you know who else probably wears a lot of Birkenstocks?
Who?
Nickelback fans and Counting Crows fans.
No.
And
But Counting Crows fans, because the
Counting Crows, I would consider maybe a hippie band.
they are.
though.
They do. They've done some. They've done some really good covers of like Uncle John's Band, and they've done some Dead covers. So,
But Matchbox 20, Taylor Swift, Kansas City Chiefs.
well, the football thing is recent though. I mean, he could just be dipping his toe in this water to try to.
No Psychedelics ever was really probably the biggest one for me. I feel like
I think that
But
I
he's-
was given mushrooms,
But
which means I had to receive them, and I did try to take one. I just don't recall ever feeling anything.
But he also is taking edibles a lot. He's an edible Birkenstock
yeah, but so are
boy.
65-year-old dads.
Maybe they're hippies too.
Actually, I think you'd be close to being a hippie as a 65-year-old.
I mean,
There we go.
I have him on the hippie scale. I have him at a 4.
yeah. So
I took 2 edibles and went on a hike. What else do you want?
So I was.
Are you mad
we
that
doing?
did you want to be hippie?
That's not
I was-
very hippie of you to get mad.
So
I'm not-
I was at a.
Did you want to be hippie?
I just feel like the whole point is to be a hippie. I feel like if I'm not a hippie, you guys are like, what a fucking not hip. Like,
Well, I'm not.
I feel like the
so I
subtext
classify
is that if
myself
it's-
as not a hippie. I have long hair and smoke weed, but I don't like most of the hippie things.
I'm
Interesting.
definitely on the hippie
like
side.
I'd say I'm probably a 5, like right in the fucking middle on the scale.
Yeah.
And I'd say AJ's a fucking 9, dipping
pretty
into
hard,
10
yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. Because I love rocks. I mean, the ketamine is genuinely for therapy, but I'm not gonna lie. Like I love watching the room dissolve into nothing and just drifting off into the void to figure out what my mind's gonna do. I love tie dye. I love jam bands. I love the smell of patchouli. Yeah,
I was looking at your plaid. And I was
How
like,
do you
"It's a
feel
nice
about
plaid."
free love?
it's a nice plaid.
Free love, as opposed to paid love. Yeah, I mean, whatever.
It's an honest job.
No.
Yeah, so we weren't that far off. We were just because mid range is weird. So I was 1 over mid. You were 1 below mid.
You had him at a 6?
I had
I'm,
at a 6.
I'm mid. Ugh. That doesn't sound great. I'll take mid. I'll take a 5.
I mean, did you think you were going to be like real hippie?
I don't know. I don't know why I thought I'd impress you guys with my Matchbox 20.
But you know what
concert
else
attendance.
Aren't you like a counselor?
No. I have a psych degree, but I was never a counselor.
Got you.
Yeah.
Not a psychedelic degree.
No, I know.
Damn it.
4. Well, yeah.
All right, get the fuck out of here.
All right.
But yeah, thanks
All right,
for
guys.
listening. Like, subscribe.
Like, subscribe, and get on the motherfucker. Bah!
I'll become more of a hippie and I'll be back.
Oh,
Yeah, come back. Do the show again.
yeah.
We'd love to have
Yeah.
you back.
Bring a friend that's less hippie.
I'll be like, guys, guess who did mushrooms and went back to Matchbox 20. All right,
Yeah.
hear me out.
Eat some mushrooms. Tell us what you think.
Guess who's barefooted, no longer wearing underwear?
No Berks for me.
We'll see you next week.